Okay, it's May 3rd, Monday, 2021. Going over some of the trades today. Uh, if you've been following, you know that I've made some tweaks to the system in the last few weeks where I'm going for 100 tick targets approximately with a 50 tick stop loss. So having a much better risk reward ratio than having a 1-to-1 where you're having the same target as your stop. Let's go over some of the trades, see how that worked out today. This was about 3 minutes into the opening. We suddenly saw a little bit of a push down. 5 range showed me a nice little wave down, little pop-up pullback. I decided I'd give it a shot going short. And I'm just scrolling through this pretty quickly. You can see we started getting some pretty good momentum going down. And got about 92 ticks. Once I got to this area, I didn't really want to play around too much in case we started bouncing off, especially since it was very much in the open where you can get some whipsawing price action. Okay, for the second trade, we had just had some news at 10 o'clock. This was about 3 or 4 minutes past the news. You can see price on the 1 minute here started bouncing quite a bit. My 5 range showed me possible new buying coming in. Nice little up wave, pull back, second wave. So again, I use the 5 range to time in my trades. I'm also looking to see what the 1 minute's looking like, the two, and on my other screen I have a 5 minute chart. But I do this so I can generally try to have my stop loss below a swing, since NQ loves to retest its swing areas quite a bit. So I went into this, my target was where it didn't really have to surpass the previous high. So let's check this out. I'm scrolling through. And right before, I broke even when I was up about 80 ticks. So almost, 90 ticks, 95 ticks. Again, just being careful, getting close to some resistance. Don't like to play around too much there. So nice 2 winners in a row to start off the day. I was thinking about stopping. When you have two almost 100 tick winners, it's not always a bad idea to just call it a day. Okay, for trade number 3, we had pulled back to this area here, which was some early morning highs. I saw a little V pattern. It looked pretty good, and thought maybe this would start moving back up, since we seem to be really having a lot of buying at that point after the news. This unfortunately hit the 50 tick stop loss and was a loser. Okay, probably wasn't the smartest thing to do, but I decided to re-enter going long. I thought maybe I just timed it wrong and I have the right idea. And this one starts popping up pretty good. We get up almost 50 ticks or so. Comes back. I'm being very patient on this, although I didn't like a few things I was seeing. Now the problem is, in the old days I would have probably hit my stop to break even and cut down my risk, especially since I was having a pretty good day. I've been trying to not interfere with these trades too much to keep the mathematics of the risk reward ratio so it doesn't really get skewed. But in this case, it starts moving down really quickly. I've had some trades that came within 3 or 4 ticks of hitting my stop, and then they bounce on to win. So I didn't really interfere with this. But I see now, as I'm watching this, I really should have gotten out. And so that was a loser. So 2 losses in a row there. what I like about this system is it is kind of forgiving because I've had 2 wins and 2 losses, and I'm still up, profitable for the day. I gave a lot back, but again, if we had 2 wins and 2 losses on my 1-to-1 risk reward, like I did many times in the past, I'd be at zero minus commission. So, okay, so we started seeing a little bit of a trend change here. Had a nice impulse down on the 5 range, getting some signal change here on the 1 minute. 2 minute looks like it's about to go. It's pulling back towards these EMAs. I didn't feel that we were going to get a big pullback right at this point, and I knew we should be able to get maybe back down to here since we were down here earlier before the news came out. So decided to go short. And scrolling. And that almost won about 90 ticks, somewhere in that region. I didn't want to really fool with this area. I saw that I had drawn a line here and could bounce. Okay, so you see we did have a little bounce, not a huge one, and we were pulling back to this area that I had marked off. And I decided, I probably got a little bit more room to for another 100 tick move with the momentum I was seeing. So re-entered here, and it starts to push back down. And that's a full 100 tick winner there. So that's where I stopped for the day. I think it went pretty well, even with the 2 losses in a row. Um, I had 3 wins, 2 losses, and I'm up very nicely on the day. So far, I'm really liking the system. I'm well over a 50% win rate, and it's working out pretty well. I'll keep everybody up to date on the future of this, but so far, I like it. And there's not a lot of instruments where I think you could have this sort of 100 tick target, 50 tick stop loss, and do as well as you can with NQ. But again, it's important to time in your entries so your stop loss is comfortably behind generally a swing. And so I'm incorporating a lot of my system from the 5 range, but also really taking into account some of these higher time frames. And I'm really feeling like it's going pretty well. That's it.